Podcast. My name is Chase, and today, as always, I got my co-host, Patrick.
What's up? Oh, Captain, my captain. Here's Steve.
That's more than one. Oh, my God. All right. And speaking of, we got Steve DiCarlo, the 2018 Majestix Open Series Invitational winner. Congratulations.
And thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
The Ragnorak.
Not the captain of Ragnorak.
So I know I would stand on the table if I could, but it would probably break because this is such a flimsy table. But
so West Coast.
So
West
there's
player takes down the crown.
So just to recap real quick, Chase brain farted. For anyone listening and watching, didn't record like the first 15 minutes where Steve was talking all kinds of shit, so we missed all of that. But we can goad him into talking more again because now he's got.
Should we give him the quick version of it?
Just real quick. What'd you play in the Rock Age finals, top four?
All right, so in the Rock Age finals, I slightly altered the Quinjet team that I played in Rock Age on Saturday, and so I did
to beat Dan, right?
Not just to beat Dan. So
I thought that's what.
Dan is trying to say that I made a team specifically to beat his, but I've actually played like this exact version of this team at a previous Majestix Open Series event. Me using full point Jet and Nighthawk and Jarvis and Carnage is not an abnormal thing. I've done it before. So yeah, if anything, it was to counter the X-Men team because I played Colin on Saturday. And it was definitely like my best and closest Rock Age game. He got super close to killing the baby Jet, so I wanted to play the full Jet version against him. And he made a similar change. He added the Venom harness to his Quicksilver.
So he almost got close too if he just rolled that 5 on the second.
Yeah,
yeah. Got you like on the second to last click probably.
So yeah, if Colin had called in Green Arrow and attacked with Green Arrow instead of Jean, he could have gotten me either to my last click or he could have killed me if he used Perplexes to damage. So yeah, his team was really good, and so I was trying to prep for his team. Dan's team, it just sort of like it worked out because I had already done Leech because he's a super low point Colin that even Jarvis can like call in to increase the dial. He has really good outwit, and he's good against pick a power teams. So nothing about my team would have been any different if I didn't play Dan. It's just Green Arrow, Nighthawk, and Leech when paired against a Unimind team, turns out that's actually a good combo, and surprise.
There was one thing, just real quick on the when you played Colin, did you pilot the Jet or no?
Yeah, so I piloted the Jet with Nighthawk. I was fine with him getting his increases and stuff because I didn't want him to be able to just run across the map and easily one-shot Nighthawk, which with the Perplexes and like one Perplex to damage, he needs to roll like a 4 to kill Nighthawk in one go, and then he uses the bat signal to bring Quicksilver right back to his starting area. So I figured I was safer just putting Nighthawk in the Jet, and so if he goes to kill the Jet, at least Nighthawk's up in the action to call people out and try to get a little retaliation. And so yeah, Nighthawk was the pilot of the Jet that game.
That's actually pretty impressive. I mean, honestly, to foresee that, making sure the Nighthawk, I don't think a lot of people would have done that with.
The other thing too was all 4 of you guys, for some reason or another, all knew what you were playing, even though you could have changed whatever you guys wanted.
Right.
And I mean, you guys all made
everybody.
changes.
But what's that?
Well, they all made little changes. You know, I know that Dan and DJ went home and talked about it.
I think Steve's change was pretty major. Going from a small to big is a significant change.
Yeah, I understand that, but you know, you have Colin putting the Venom harness, and then
Alex Wilder, you're putting 2 drones. There's like your ID card setup is slightly different because you have 9 ID cards, so that's a big one. Dan was a slight change. Emilio did change the most, but
he changed teams, but
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But you guys knew. What I'm saying is, you guys assumed that you guys were playing the teams that were being played. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing about the full point Jet. Pretty much regardless of who I was going to play, I probably was going to switch to full point just because the Baby Jet team was like, I wanted to try out a different like style with that just to see how much I liked it. And day one, even though I went 3-0 with it, I have just always preferred the full point Jet. In every other event that I played the full point Jet. And so the Baby Jet was just a like, oh, let's see how this works out. But the fact that Colin like was so close to killing it on day one, I was like, yeah, that's a little bit too risky. So I switched it up, and this is like again a change that I've already played this version of it. Quinjet, Nighthawk, Jarvis. I've done that before. So yeah, it wasn't a specific switch to play any one person, but it worked out that it's a altogether like more
right. But the point is, you guys could have played anything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
4 of you guys just assumed that you were all playing what you were playing.
Right.
That's the point, right? That's not the fact that you changed teams, but the fact that you guys assumed that you guys assumed that Amelia was going to play Mystiques, Dan was going to play Unimind, Colin was going to play X-Men. I mean, even though that's what but it's like that's also a risk in that sense, right? Because if you're playing for the X-Men team, and that means you're like 100% sure Colin is playing that team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of I was like that. I kind of found that very, very interesting when you were mentioning you countered his team, and I'm like, wow, did he tell you he was playing that? You know, but then of course the other side is like, well, what else did he play? Nothing. So
if I had the pieces, I absolutely would have switched to play Nate's team. I think Nate's team. Nate did
Blue Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther with which battery is it? Blue battery. So he has like so many insane rollouts. That team is ridiculous. And if I owned a blue battery or Black Panther, I totally would have switched to do that team. He did such a good job making that team. It was really cool. It's just
he also annoyed the shit out of Dan.
Yeah.
For playing because in their game he rolled every. I was watching it. I think he rolled 2 or 3 1s and 2s on the mirror.
Right.
And then each time on the reroll, it was a 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah.
and he was like, God, okay.
So that's the whole point. Like, if anybody doesn't know, he's rolling Black Panther. It's got he has protected pulse wave, and then he has the he equips the mirror to give him that 3 through 6 shape change roll, and then he has the blue battery to re-roll that shape change roll.
Also, that team. So when he played Colin. It was the opposite. He rolled just 1 and 2 right away, and it was gone.
Right.
Missed his super senses, and then missed his imperv, and then just died. And so beat him. Also, like against the X-Men team, he has it's not a great matchup because of the harness.
Right.
The harness just he now only has, and Quicksilver has precision strike, so he only has like partial rollouts, right?
Right.
Yeah. 6 or imperv. That's it. No, not even imperv.
Yeah.
Because you still take damage. Mm-hmm. So he can just ping him down if he wanted to do that. So it's just the only thing he absolutely had was a super sense roll. So the more and more we think about it, the Colin's team is actually really solid.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of Colin's team.
Yeah, I was considering.
His is a team that, like, looking at it, I was like, oh, this is like. It's basically a modern team with a battery. This is no good.
Also, the game could have. I mean, it would have been different in the sense that he would have had a Cyclops on the board because you sidestepped first, and then you moved 6 squares, and then you retail.
Yeah,
that's a big deal because you killed his Cyclops.
Yeah.
So, and then it's not like, well, you could take that back because the fact was that you sidestepped first.
Yeah.
And then moved. But then we caught that later on, but oh well. It is what it is. Nobody plays freaking green batteries, so.
Yeah, so the same turn that I had done the Green Arrow Colin, I was able to free action in the Cyclops. So I could have just killed his Cyclops with mine. So it wasn't going to be a huge deal because my Cyclops just chilled that turn. He didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah, but you also shot Jean Grey to her last click.
No. Green Arrow did.
Green Arrow hit Jean Grey?
Yeah. Hit her for 5.
What was your calling on that turn? It was
Green Arrow. Green Arrow, and then I real-boyed in Cyclops. So Cyclops could have killed Cyclops too.
You did 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, maybe. What'd you end up doing with them anyway?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
Your Cyclops didn't shoot No,
because I couldn't get to his Quicksilver because there's 2 walls.
Oh, I thought you shot with I thought you shot through the wall.
No, the Cyclops the next turn he killed Jean.
Oh yeah, okay.
and then the following turn is when he went for Quicksilver. So yeah,
Calling some interesting teams too, because his constructed team again didn't really look like anything.
Oh yeah,
now I'm looking at that Punisher all over again.
Yeah, I played him in Modern as well, and that was also my closest Modern game where, well, the scores didn't end up being close, but like the majority of the game, like the tempo of it seemed like it was pretty much in his favor, just because that Punisher is definitely solid, and then when you can pull the Green Arrow like Gatling gun thing off, it's really cool. Because like Gotham, I keep my team pretty close together because you do the whole like the loyalty penguin attacks and stuff like that, and so the Green Arrow with the Gatling gun just means he can attack everybody that's next to each other, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. It made me think about him in other places too.
Something I know people are going to want to know, and you have to address. And I've actually talked to him about it because I'm pretty sure nobody else would even mention it to him because everybody's pussies. And I'll tell him because he not only does he have respect for me, but also like, hey man, you can't do that shit. What did you feel about? You got to be your complete honest opinion on feeling how Dan was treating Emilio and yourself on Sunday.
All right, so I put a lot of thought into this the last 2 days. How I want to respond to that question.
Because if you look at the feedback, the messages I've been getting, the comments on there, like I said, I've talked to him, and he actually, I didn't like just sit out like, hey man, what the fuck? But he understands and he knows that he's like, he's gonna dial it back, and the thing is he knows, and that's important, and that he's doing, he's gonna do something about it. But but that still doesn't excuse the fact what happened on Sunday, because apparently there's more things that happened when Jay and I were in the other room.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yeah, it was crazy. Dan is a very competitive person. Yeah, I'll say that. Dan is a very nice guy. I have nothing bad to say about Dan as a human being. I got to stay with him at Worlds. He's a very genuine person. He just cares about this game a lot.
Of course.
Dan, when he plays, is a different person. I played Dan twice in Sealed, and both times he had like a insanely powerful team, and both times he did the whole we're going to go 0-0 unless you come up to me so I can attack you first play style. And he did that against everyone, I guess. Like, everyone was saying the same thing, that like Dan in Sealed had the better team but just outright refused to play unless people came to him so he can get a shot off first. And so that was kind of a bummer for everybody to experience that, because that's just not fun Heroclix. And then I'm like, okay, well...
But that's a strategy that actually...
So
if you guys fall into that trap, that's your guys' fault.
Right, yeah. It's not necessarily a bad strategy. It's just he left the tournament without anyone enjoying any game that they played against him. And I think that's just sort of a bummer, because he's a nice guy. Like, he's a good person, but the fact that he left the event with people outright saying to his face, like, oh, I don't like you, it's a bummer, because like, he is a nice guy, and I just wish he could balance the strategy of it with not coming off that way, just sort of like hold himself to a higher standard. And you can play like in a conservative manner without being so taunty and keep continually saying like, oh, we're going to go to 0-0 roll off, or we're going to go 0-0. And
do you feel like Dan tries to get in your head?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. The whole game against me, the first Sealed game, is just mind tricks, and I'm like, you know what? If he's not going to attack, I feel like I can do well enough in this tournament that this game won't matter, so I'll make the first move, and of course I immediately regret it, because I'm like, well, that was just not the right play. So yeah, he gets in his opponent's heads, and then in the top 4 game against Emilio, it was just like a really uncomfortable thing where like he already had like very much the favorable team again, where he has Unimind, who can 6 damage pulse wave immediately kill a Mystique, and so like even when he was winning, and it was pretty clear, like I watched the stream now, I've seen the game, it was pretty clear that he had the game in the bag. Alonso, Emilio's brother, simply asked Emilio, hey, how are you doing, during a long stoppage where the judges were trying to figure out a ruling, and Dan lost it just from Alonso asking him how he was doing, like was screaming that he wanted him out of the room, and how like horrible it was that Alonso was checking on his brother's status, and continually like complaining about it, and it was just like an awkward thing. Like, I understand you're not supposed to like communicate with people during a game, and that's that he's not in the wrong with that. It's just the manner in which he did it. And so yeah, there's a lot of things that like I don't disagree with the things Dan was doing or saying. It's just the way he did stuff was like kind of disrespectful. And so the game against me, I have no problem. Like, I let Pat rag on me. I am fine with people like being like I don't know, like tough on me or whatever. But just watching the game back, I understand why people were saying he was so salty. In the moment, I didn't realize how disrespectful Dan was kind of being. But they're like, oh, this is effing BS, repeatedly saying that because he missed a shape change roll, and the way he was throwing his pieces to the side as if I did something wrong. And then right when I won, he was like bashing Paris and Ragnorak people instead of like truly congratulating me. So it's just like sort of like an awkward thing that like in the moment I was happy enough that I won that I didn't care.
Yeah, you're like, whatever, man, I won.
Yeah, but like looking back at it, it is a kind of a bad look.
So many people not only commented but messaged.
Yeah. Oh, people messaged me too, saying like, "Oh, so glad you beat him because he was being such a bad sport and stuff." And so I feel bad for Dan because like Dan already gets a lot of hate, and I don't have any ill like feelings towards Dan. I think he's a great guy.
Same here. I just told him he just needs to. Because what I told him was, you know, a lot of people look up to him for inspiration, advice. He's one of the pillars in the community now. He's got one of the biggest pages. They have a podcast. He's a rock champ. You know, he's a big ambassador for the game.
Yeah.
You don't want to change people's views of you when you're playing, when you're being like that.
Right.
And as you know, and I've noticed, and this is the easiest way for me to tell when he's winning or when he's losing. I don't even have to know what happened in the game. I just look at his face and look at his actions.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you know, and that part of it, he knows too. So he understands. It's just, you know, he's just super competitive, right?
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people, well, that doesn't excuse you from doing, you know, doesn't give you carte blanche to just treat somebody like shit, right?
Yeah.
And I understand that. But I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he is a good person. Like, I know him from outside. I've known him since 2015 when I first met him. He's always been really good, really nice. It's just I know when he wants to turn on, he wants to win. It sometimes takes over, you know. And
he just seems like he plays. There's something I told you and I texted you after, and Dan even said something to me. He's like, you know, I wasn't, you know, I don't know exactly how he worded it, but I was like, dude, you're good. You know, like, same thing. I've only known him twice, but I just spent a whole weekend with him. I spent a whole day, you know, a different weekend with him. And in between matches, everything else, everything's good. And he actually, even mostly through the beginning of events and everything, he's good. But when it starts getting tight, and you know, competition starts getting tight,
right?
And if anything doesn't go his way, he gets upset. You know, we had to shoot in Colorado and slam the cup down and all that kind of stuff and whatever. But you know, I just, my biggest thing with Dan is that I watched him over this weekend, and he tries to get into people's head, and that actually started bothering me.
Yeah,
he got in your head, and you're not even playing.
I know.
But you know, Aaron can get like that too sometimes. But not to that extent. Like he might say a couple things, but for him it's a very fleeting. It's like it comes and then it's just gone. Like as soon as
it's like quick emotional reaction.
Like just like kind of real, you know, because he's done that and he knows that too. Because he even admits you because I thought I was salty. You know, I'm like, dude, compared to what happened there, you're a breath of fresh air. You know, because he can get like that too. But you know, he's everybody gets like that. But I guess in different ways. And just to clarify, I don't rag on people in game.
Yeah,
we do it outside because I'm very respectful. You know, if we're messing around or just testing whatever, I will. But like a game, I won't. You know, I don't. In fact, I even thanked Steve for teaching me that Jean Grey you can't prob. I'm like, oh, I learned something from Steve today.
What was that? I missed it.
Yeah, I thought
so we played a game. He was doing Quinjet. I was doing this Mary Marble team.
In Vegas. Vegas.
He attacked my Jean Grey and he crit missed and he's like, oh, prob. And I'm like, oh, you can't prob. And he was like all shocked about that and he laughed and he starts rolling the dice. I'm like, no, seriously, you can't prob the attack. Yeah. Like, that was the one little thing that I've gotten to teach Pat.
You know, and what happened like 2 years later.
Yeah, oh, Pat won like immediately after, but whatever. That's not a. But yeah,
I just remember Steve going, going, I didn't expect you to go inside that room.
Yep.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
I had the whole game against you mapped out, and then you
had
did
it mapped out, and then I went in the room. He's like,
"Oh, okay."
Why the hell did you go in the room? Because you had to break some walls. You had to like do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so I play test against Tony, and by play test against Tony, I literally mean we'll play test for one day of our teams before a tournament, and he'll like throw shit at a wall and punch walls and break all the pieces and stuff, and he gets super angry. So I'm used to playing people that are really heated, and so it was just a different thing that like getting that from someone that is like a 2-time champion and like is already very physically intimidating. Dan, like when Dan asks you if you're ready for a game, he gets like an inch from your face, and like I am already a socially awkward person, so when I get that,
closer than I got with the pictures.
What's that? Oh yeah. Pat for his promotional pictures for Majestix likes to be about an inch from your face as he takes the picture.
That's hilarious.
Because we need to cover the whole. This thing isn't big enough, so it's like, man, we can't put all that on there.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I was actually laughing about? Is afterwards when you found out that there's a player's camera on you the whole time.
Oh my god!
And you're having your little Rain Man moment.
I was so embarrassed. What
happened?
So I had no idea that you guys were filming the players right during these games. And so so I pop Unimind game 1. Jean Grey misses her attack. And then Dan proceeds to spend like the next like hour doing every possible action with his team in hopes that time would run out before I would get a second shot at the Eternals. And so I'm like making all these faces and like freaking like looking at.
He's sitting there rocking like this.
Like
he's got his head down. It's like, yep, this is how it's happening. This is how this is
going to go. The whole time I'm shaking my head. I'm like, there's no way he's doing this. There's no way.
I'm a foot away from him, just laughing because I can see the time, and there was still like 22 minutes on the clock.
And so, I had no idea. And so I'm like, Dan is really going to pull this off where he's like, all right, I'm going to count squares this way. I'm going to count squares this way. I'm going to perplex this person, even though Nighthawk's on the field. I'm going to perplex this person just because it takes 2 seconds for me to say that. And I was doing all these different things. And I'm just like making all these faces and looking at everyone in the room like, come on, like anyone say something. And this whole time a camera's in my face watching me do that. So that was fun.
Did you think he was taking too long?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the turn.
Why don't you say something?
Because I'm awkward and Dan's big.
It wasn't just that. Like, okay,
everybody,
so if you really look at it and you go back to the camera.
Steve, stall him.
Oh, absolutely.
He won't say anything.
Absolutely. So
I don't know. Like, it was hard. It was hard for him to be able to say that he was or wasn't doing it because Dan was counting everything out and he was saying everything. He was never sitting there staring at a piece. He was just he took like a minute before his turn. And then he would do this, and then I remember you said something, and he recounted it out. And I remember I could just see the look on your face, like, why did I even say anything?
Yep. Yep. And then like there was the search for his Hulk card. That his Hulk card was in his bag, so he wanted to take forever to look for his own Hulk card. And I'm like, hey, here's my Hulk card. I have the same figure. Look at this one. And he's like, no, I still want to look at my own. So he was like still looking for his own. I'm like, here's the card.
Case, you gotta clip that with him just rocking like that. And put it on highlights.
Hilarious. But again, I had the timer. I had the timer on the stream, so I could see it, and I knew how much time I think you actually were
Did people mention anything?
On the stream, people were talking about how long it was taking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know, you were covering it, Chase.
You didn't no, listen. You understand? I can't look at the stream. And then turn around and watch the victory. Like, I'm trying to watch everything that's going on in the game and updating everything. So occasionally I would look at something, somebody had a question, but if I really didn't see a question mark, I just disregarded it because it was kind of going, like they were really like kind of typing, and then mine doesn't update for some reason. But long story short, here's another thing though too. Like, the reason why I wasn't thinking that Dan was maybe doing it on purpose was because when he plays his Eternals, he didn't. How long did that take? Like 20 seconds?
Jay didn't say anything either, so I mean, I guess it wasn't. You know what? This is what I will say. It probably seemed like a long time for you, Steve, because you knew how detrimental it was for you to get one more shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But probably in reality, it was probably maybe 3 minutes.
Oh no, Paris timed it. He said it was 8 from when Paris wrote his comment. It was already 8 minutes for him to just call out Hulk. So like, because he was looking for the Hulk card, counting out this, seeing how much okay, he's gonna outwit from the battery, but we gotta see if I have the range to outwit. So I'm gonna count out here
we'll
and
we'll look at that again because a lot of people. Because let me in his defense when we were watching the Rock Cup, or when Chase was watching the Rock Cup, and they were watching after Unimind got popped, Adam took time. Remember?
Yeah, but it wasn't as long as people were saying it was.
Everyone was saying it was 9 minutes, 7 minutes. We counted. We actually the relevant time max 4 minutes.
Right.
Still seems like a long time though.
Not really.
Just my opinion.
But that's not that long, because there were also like questions on where he was from where do you count it? But 4 minutes is not sure, but 9 minutes. So the 8 minutes, it's probably slightly exaggerated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I asked Isaac. Isaac said it felt like 3 minutes.
Right.
That's what he told me. So if it doesn't bother him, then it shouldn't bother anyone else.
Yeah.
You know.
No, go ahead and time it though, because I've also watched it and timed it, and it is exceptionally long.
How long was you timed it? What was it?
It's like 8 minutes. That one turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you should have said something.
I'm awkward, Pat.
I know, we know that.
But like I said,
you still gotta do what you gotta do.
But if you did say something, he could have said that he was doing something the whole time.
Yeah.
He should have been there to say something.
But he was counting and saying everything out, so it would have been really hard to say like.
Right. Yeah. And so that's a big part of why I didn't say anything. Is like there's 3 people watching this game and no one else is saying something, and B, he never paused and so he was always doing something. Like, I'm going to count this, and then I'm going to look for this card, and then does Hulk have giant reach? I don't know if Hulk has giant reach. So let me look through my bag to see if Hulk's card says he has giant reach. Oh, I can't find Hulk's card. Oh, Steve's giving me Hulk's card, but I still want to look at Hulk's card myself. Oh, okay, he doesn't have giant reach. So let me count squares again, because I don't remember how many squares I counted. Oh, but if I do that, I want to get a prob. So let's see where I could move up to carry Thanos to get a prob on it. Oh,
how many times did you watch this?
Oh, I watched it enough that I'm I get stressed out every time I watch it.
Jesus,
I'm like when I watched the game yesterday, I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna get another turn? What
have we mentioned, Chase? And this is the one thing is that if you allow yourself to get bamboozled, it's your fault and only.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, so, I wouldn't have blamed anyone other than myself for sure. I'm the guy that at Worlds
time to teach you a lesson. I wish I was there. Time, and you'd be like, "Sorry, Steve, I cut it short because you're not doing shit."
So at Worlds, a player rolled dice to pop my Unimind and rolled a 6, a 5 and a 1, but immediately picked up the dice. He needed a 7, rolled a 6, immediately picks up the dice, just picking him up with his fingers. And he's like, okay, so Unimind's pop. I'm like, well, you missed. You rolled a 6. He's like, no, I rolled a 7. Puts the dice back down, and as he put it down, it was still the 5 and a 1. Then he flips over the 5 to a 6. He's like, no, I rolled a 7. See? And so I was just like, yeah, okay, sure, that's fine. Like, I am that person that if people pull stuff, I don't know what.
Everybody
I don't think so. I don't think anymore. You're a champion now. You won't let that happen no more.
This is what it's gonna be. Everybody, just when you can't see, like I can see. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the range? 9? It says 8. It's 9. Okay.
Eventually I'll get to the point where I have the balls to say something, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Come on, man. You're a champion right now.
Yeah.
Tell Tony to give you back your balls.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Tony has no problem screaming at people, but I'm not that way with any
people.
Chase, doesn't it look like he's wearing an earring?
Yeah, what is the deal? Oh, it's the picture. Oh no, it's like
you should make it go back
the other.
There you go.
I see it now. I know what you're talking about.
You should just leave it there. Be like, yeah, I got something new.
Spent all the money.
Now that okay, so what do you think of all the? Have you seen the document for the new Rock?
Yeah, I read a little bit of it. The whole if you don't bring a map, then the opponent automatically wins map. That makes perfect sense. I don't know. I read the highlighted bits that I saw online, but I didn't
Did you see that they took out limited and they took out rock age?
Yeah, but I mean that was always going to happen. I felt like I thought that WizKids, once they took over, were gonna get rid of that because they never wanted to do anything like that anyway. They always just do modern.
So doesn't this feed to what we were like? This is what a lot of people were saying. It's like they're taking out all the little elements that made the rock.
Right.
So eventually, it's just gonna get absorbed, and it's just gonna be gone.
From a business standpoint, WizKids is trying to be like, oh, we want everyone to buy new stuff. We don't sell like backstock, like individual figures and stuff. So they're like, oh, we're going to keep it modern to make everyone buy the new stuff, which I understand that, but it also sucks for everyone that owns a collection because it's
exactly so that
like, once it rotates, their pieces are useless. So that part's horrible. Like I understand why they're doing it, but it sucks for the game.
No, actually, I don't understand that because that's stupid. Because that's not what they do in other games, and that's what I keep saying. Like, it doesn't make any sense. All these other games have some kind of something like that because they know that these kind of game stores is what keeps them afloat. Because the secondary market for these places are good enough to they can sustain and have a store in your area. Now that if all that's worthless, then it can only sell new stuff. Then they can't just do. Then they have to do something else.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like if Magic only did one format. That means all the secondary market for all the old cards are dead, and then now there's going to be no game stores.
Yeah.
Magic because now they can't sustain through selling older boosters, whatever. So, but
I mean, look at the price of as soon as something rotates. Look at the price of boosters.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
you can't give away Nick Fury.
Exactly, and you know what else? What that does is like if you're the distributor, and you have old boosters, and when something rotates out, you have no choice but to put it as a clearance,
right?
Because no one's going to buy that stuff, right? But if you give them a reason to buy it, then maybe you can still sell, and they can clear out their back stock. But that's something else. Anyway,
do you want me to tell you the maps that are legal right now?
Yeah.
From them? All right, listen to this. Donut Shop, Underground, Remote Outpost on the Mexican border, Amusement Park, Strange Day in the Park,
that's
Titans Reality, Ultimate Sacrifices.
Oh, nope.
Actually, I don't know how to say this one. Oskopnir? What is that? Oskopnir. Actually, I've never heard that one. Belgium, Mall Hall, Crash Landing, Clothing Hall, and Food Court. So Underground is still on there.
I can't believe Underground's there. That's unreal to me.
I don't think you've seen Ultimate Sacrifice.
I don't think I have either.
It has open air in the middle of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole map is just elevated. It's like and it's very hard to traverse. It is rough.
Is it from the latest movie? Is that supposed to be like the Thanos? Is that which one it's from?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's supposed to be Vormir. But the Strange Days, it's a little bit hindering. No blocking, no elevation. So it's almost blank.
Underground is the one that just
Underground. That's rough, man.
Because you can literally just build a theme team around that map and probably win as long as you get map roll.
Oof. Well, everybody will be playing plus 20s now.
Well, now, you know what the funny thing is? When he made the announcement, the first thing everyone said was like, "Oh, thank God, no more Underground."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on there.
I'm doing Tyrannus teams from now on. All Tyrannus. I'm just going to make little plasticity pogs and clog up every lane and say good luck.
Yeah. There's they changed a couple things. Like one of the ones is it's last action again. Clearly because it's going to be WizKids. The other one is they added 400 modern.
Okay.
That to me, when they've come out and said that when they test their stuff, and this is I don't know how long ago, but when they do their design and test, it's for the 300-point game.
Right.
So they balance and do the things for 300 points, and now you're going to add 400 points. What's that going to do to the balance? Because you don't balance over 300.
Yeah.
I already know what happens. It's called Unimine wins.
Yeah. So that was fun.
We've tried this. We tried this last year. Were you there?
Yeah. I went to Rock Cup last year, in which in the 400 limited format, virtually everyone. There, right? Every single person that played 400 full point Unimine moved on.
And the ones that didn't were playing him at like 275.
Right.
So, Yeah, it was. I just remember last year it was just full Unimine or like the 275 Unimine plus stuff.
Yeah.
That's all it was, like mostly. So and I believe you could put as many Eternals, right, as you want.
You get like 5 or something.
But like I think at the full point you put as many as you want. You just pay 5 points for each.
Yeah. Right.
Because one says 3, the other one says like 5.
Yeah.
But the big one, I believe you just put as many, but you pay 5 points for each one.
Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome. But I guess, well, no, that's going to be around for another until I don't know how long.
I just wish there was a more clear explanation of what the deal was with the whole Rock and WizKids like team up thing, because it just seems really weird, because it definitely does, like, it changes the whole game where it gets rid of like a major tournament. Like Rock Cup will still exist, but it just is a qualifier now. And then the whole, like, it gets rid of the prize, like, playing for money thing, and then it just gets rid of like so many different figures because Rock Age isn't a thing. So yeah, I don't know.
How often do you go travel outside of like the western part?
I travel a lot.
Oh, so you go. So when was the last time you went to a regional and a Super Q that's not around here?
Oh, you're talking about
Exactly.
like nationals, worlds, etc. Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, then you'd have nothing to worry about, because the Open Series next year is going to be all up and down the west. It's going to reach all the way up to Washington, Oregon. It's going to be in Nevada, Arizona.
Is this the first time you're saying this? Is this a big reveal? This is exciting.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that. Everyone here, yeah. There's. You've already seen the map. I have another one coming up soon.
Nice.
But we just have to work out the logistics. Arizona wants like three different stores.
That's awesome.
Ben,
3 different ones in Arizona.
Ben wants one. Justin and Nate want one, and Paul Groth just messaged they want one. And this is 3 different parts of. They're all like an hour or 2 hours apart from each other, so it's not like they're all in one area.
How far east are you willing to go?
Dude, Easton already hit me up. George hit me up already too.
Oh dang, that's awesome.
They're like George wants one in Eternal. Easton wants one at Lucky Dice, because they want to. And Easton was basically saying you guys got lucky that he couldn't come out and play, or he didn't qualify, because he would have came with some nasty shit. He gave me a couple lists. I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool." They wouldn't be expecting that. That's for sure. But I know that Vegas guys, they want in. The Pacific Northwest guys, they want in. Chip and Matt Peterson. So there's a lot of things. We just gotta, just plan it all out.
Yeah, I mean, and there's just a big difference. I mean, now that the Rock Cup's going the way of the WizKids, it's just, there's no, I mean, just the Rock in general. Like, everything that you appreciate about the Rock is getting lost. Everything that Howard's worked for, everything that you've worked for, all that kind of stuff, it's just, they came in, they changed it all, and now it's just WizKids. There's, so at least we still have Majestix.
The goal is to up it to 5K next year. That's the goal. We did 2K. We'll do 5K.
More?
But it's dependent on getting the venues to right. It's the same thing, because we need to raise the money for the event. Yeah. So if we can get like 16 or 20 or however many venues, then that could be easily done. Remember, there's only 10, and everything was like all kind of messed up this year, but it's gonna be a little bit more streamlined, because it's the first year we're trying it like this, and it's gonna we're gonna have like a point system that we have for Star City Games. Actually, I actually had the rankings and everything. Tony and Emilia were like 1 and 2, but they had qualified already.
Right.
But the only one, so like the top guy that wasn't qualified but had the most points through this system that I was just testing out was Rob Gallagher.
Oh really? Okay.
Because he went to a bunch. He went to more than half. I think he went to 5. Because he went to
go to a ton.
Dude, he went to Arizona. He went to Fresno. He went to ours here in Orange. He went to Santa Clarita, and then he went to the one in Jeff Bullard's neck of the woods.
He didn't play in Santa Clarita though.
Yeah, I did.
No, he helped you.
What are you talking about?
David helped you run the event in Santa Clarita.
Steve, who are we talking about here?
Robert Gallagher.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought you were
I brought up David.
He brought up David, then you started saying the events he went to.
No, Robert Gallagher. No,
Yeah,
but because I said Rob was the #1 guy that didn't.
Yeah.
He went to at least 5 events.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, because he didn't go to the one that Tony won. He didn't go to Utah, and those are the only 2 he didn't go because he went to San Diego as well. He went to Bakersfield. He went to. Oh my God! Did he go to 8 out of 10? That's pretty good. So
he
that's
go
why
to Colorado, right?
Oh, he didn't go. So he went to 7 out of the 10. It's pretty impressive. So there would be, that's why he has a lot of points. He's been placing well. So a guy like him would have qualified for the Invitational.
What if
it's not going to be only 8 or 10? It's going to be through points and qualification, just like how the Rock Cup was. But
so if you win, are you just automatically qualified still?
You get points.
Okay.
And then you need this many points to get into the Invitational. But the difference is you can't buy these points. It's just going to be like you have to grind your way in. So, like, for example, let's say you need. So, like, if you win, you're automatically in, right? But then after that, after all those are in, I'm gonna have a how many points you need, like a cutoff. If you have this many points through the events, then you could also come to the Invitational. But at each of these stops, we're gonna try to make it where they have a main event and a co-main event. So you have 2 ways to qualify.
Yeah.
One through the Modern and one through Majestix Age, I guess.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, that's really cool.
So you have 2. So like, if you fail to do on one of them, then you play in the co-main event, which is probably going to be, that's why I have to do the logistics because some stores might be able to do it, some might not. But the only one, the automatic buy, like the automatic not buy, the automatic in will be the main event. The co-main event is only there for you to accrue points, additional points.
That's cool.
To get to
will it always be Majestix Age for the main event?
Yeah, the co-main event will be Modern.
Okay.
So at least there's 2 ways for people to get in. You can, depending on, I have to gauge the interest, but because it is a multi-format invitational,
right.
I might some places might have it switched.
That's cool. Yeah,
so it'll be like, so the Majestix Age will be the co-main event and the Modern will be the main. It's just like you have options. It's basically going to be based off of like what your area is more interested in. Because obviously, if nobody wants to play Majestix Age, and you do Modern, but they still got to have a co-main event just to get it out there.
Well, and it's not bad too. Like if you have Arizona that's if they have 3 events, one of them flipping that to the main event being Modern makes sense. If they want,
because those guys are really big on our format.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, it's being a little bit more flexible, but still keeping the identity it seems important to me.
And it would be nice to also, I know some places want to start doing the draft, so we'll have to give them the guideline to do the draft, because it's actually, if people do the draft, that's actually more money for the stores because they're paying double.
Yeah.
You're buying 2 boosters for 4 people. That's actually better.
Speaking of Majestix Age, though, are you adding anything to the ban list?
Well, since you asked, yeah, we're adding Black Swan. Did somebody tell you already?
No, I was curious.
Oh,
he just told me, so that's why I was like,
no, okay.
Tell you? No, it's gonna go up there.
Did you hear about my I told you about how I was trolling about playing a Black Swan team, right? How a week ago I posted on Facebook saying like, hey, does anyone have a Grandmaster, Black Swan, and Blind Al, and all these other pieces? And I was just kidding, and immediately Dan commented following, Emilio liked it, and PJ messaged me within 5 minutes of me posting that. And I was just trolling, and then PJ shows up with the Black Swan team.
Oh yeah, they had that already.
So that was unreal.
You were saying that did he tell you that he got a spicy team, and then you were trying to figure it out, because that's what they said.
Yeah, PJ like months ago was saying like, oh, I have a team that could theoretically win like right off the bat if I roll the right number. And so I was like, I don't do research on Rock Age. Like I just show up with my Quinjet and hope for the best each time. But like this is the first time that I was like going through like some old pieces, and I came on Black Swan, and I'm like, wait a second, how has no one figured out a way to do this? And so I was like, okay, that's got to be like, if not the piece that PJ's showing up with, that's got to be a piece. And I didn't actually think PJ was going to do it, but there it was.
Yeah. It's, yeah, you know, I mean, like I always say, when we were, hold on, I'm trolling Chase right now.
You're such a troll. That's what I just feel like. I looked up at the corner again. He asked me if I was recording again.
I just asked Chase if we were recording right now.
Oh,
Dude, my heart sank.
But like I was telling, like this is kind of like how it works with, you know, with the ban list and stuff. I hear all the arguments and, you know, I hear all the feedback and then, you know, make a decision based off of my advisors. That's basically what it is. So, you know, with that, what's that?
You're like the president.
Yeah, but better. I listen to the
a little bit better.
I don't have red hair, and I have hair. Do you think your team changes at all if Sheriff's Strange becomes a thing?
No, it's fine for my team to double token when I call in people. That's not a problem.
But because you still get the free come in either way.
No, because you cannot play like Ultron drone. You have to play the drones on your team now.
How'd you figure?
Okay, you move up with the jet on turn 1. How do you call in a 120-point guy?
I can do it on third. I did it in third turn against Dan. It's the same deal.
No, but you risk getting hit and dying
with the full jet.
Yeah. Okay.
How's the full jet gonna die with Nighthawk in 2 turns?
Okay, so turn 1. So the X-Men team, they did their thing. You moved up in the room. He hit you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, That's what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? I thought you were talking about it in the Dan game. No.
I'm just talking about in general. Like if someone goes first on you, and you move up,
right?
You can die. You theoretically die.
Sure. Yeah.
You see that actually makes a big difference because you can't, when they hit you initially, you can't counterattack unless you play drones.
Yeah, so the very first time I ran Quinjet,
got it.
Very first time I ran Quinjet, something that works well is the fast forces cap that says an Avenger can move for half speed for free and stuff like that. So yeah, I would still run Quinjet. I would just find you're right. I understand what you're saying.
So I'm right. I said
I thought you were just saying specifically like in the Dan matchup, but like no.
I would have said.
Yeah. No. Again, Sheriff Strange. If you have Sheriff Strange and someone with like a lot of like offensive firepower, like Quicksilver, like Green Arrow, etc. Yeah,
it's definitely easy. It's in our format, it's very easy to get little guys wound up.
Like that. For sure.
Because there's
I think I still run Quinjet because I don't care to look up other stuff.
That's fine. I mean, that's good, and then that's what's good. It's like the team is very good. It's not overpowering where you can't lose. There's a lot of interaction where you can do a lot of things, and there's a lot of customizability. You know, you can customize it a lot. I was actually thinking about if you can somehow fit like a Moira and a Jarvis on the team, so you just have like all these free things. And then also you can have a free X-Men retail if they get Moira.
Yep. So, and there's also like PJ was talking about like the Blackbirds, the Quinjet Sam Cap variant where it's not the Quinjet calling out. So there's definitely different ways to build it that work out really well because if you use Sam Cap with it, she's calling out, she's cranking up the dial, so the Quinjet is just moving and then free calling people in. So there's definitely different ways to run it that. I think it's nowhere near ban worthy. I don't know if Dan was just joking when he said that.
Or which one?
It still requires a lot. What's up?
For the jet?
Yeah, he was trying to.
I think he was just joking.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure he was joking too. Like it's not anything insanely broken, but it does require like there's different ways to build it. It's not just one size fits all. This is the Quinjet build. Like I mean I played like so many different Quinjet variations over this circuit that. It's a good figure that requires a lot more skill than people realize, and there are definite counters to it.
What was your plan against Mystiques? You only had one Pulse Waver?
I had Thor, yeah. So if I played Emilio on the on day 1, like the first Rock Age, I had Thor, I had Black Canary, and then I had the Ultron drone that pushes to Pulse Wave to pilot the Quinjet. So I had a lot of answers for him there. But if I put PJ in the top 4, it was pretty much a put Nighthawk in the jet. Now I only have 65 points in which like he can like realistically get if he's not going for the Quinjet hard, and I can one-shot a Mystique, and we would be pretty much just dead even if
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Now that would have been some exciting streaming right there.
Yeah. Hey, it'd be more interesting than the Mystiques versus the X-Men team, in which the X-Men team are just like, cool.
Oh, that's so true. Colin had no way.
He got him. He got him a few times.
How?
Emilio burned a ring to use Outwit. And he goes, now I'm going to use Outwit. You can't. Why? You ready for reaction to burn the ring? It's a free action to Outwit. Oh, crap. You got me.
Oh, that's funny.
He got him on that like twice. The other one was like he sidestepped. Oh, that's right. He sidestepped and wanted to burn a ring for the plus stats. You can't do that either. He's like, damn, you got me again. But it didn't matter because he's like, I can't even attack you.
Yeah.
But Colin was like, let's play, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Because I asked him, I was like, because Colin's like, I can't do anything. Like, do you guys even want to play? He's like, no, I'll play. Let's play. All right, that's cool. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think he was like, hey, man, he might attack me.
Yeah.
I don't think he leaves home with. Well, no, that's not true. He did it the next day, didn't he?
The what?
Oh, because they played it for third and fourth.
Third and fourth.
Yeah, I don't think he leaves home without it now. I don't know how many times I've looked at a team now. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Open Series. I'm gonna play this. I'm like,
Exospecs.
Fixes a lot of things.
Right? Exospecs should.
By the way, Exospecs on the Gotham team, underwhelming. I gotta say, it was cool to have Joker Hypersonic for 1 damage and Pulse Wave for 1 damage, but in the end, Joker is a better call-in battery than he is an attacker, so it was not that big of a difference. Gotham was really good before, and it's not like any dramatically better now.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Were you the only one that played Exospecs?
No.
No, PJ ran the same exact team as me, but with different call-ins.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
but Joker, there's all of 2 times in 3 games that I actually used the Exospecs with Joker.
The only way that something like that would work, if you want to go that route, is if you play some kind of Undying team and you use Joker offensively.
Right.
Where you would get him to get up there and then just blades people. Right. Either blades or you flurry with like some pump. That's basically it. Other than that, yeah, you'd have to use him as a call-in guy. That's it.
And he's amazing in that function. Just never double tokening him, so he can like theme team prob when Wolverine attacks, when Professor X attacks. He has such a good function on that team that like just the Exospecs turned out to not be overly necessary.
I would really like to see, because I in our testing, when like because Hobbit was playing my team and like, I don't know, maybe it's just Tom was playing or Easton's playing, whatever. But I thought I played it pretty well, but you just get crushed by the Merc team. You just get annihilated.
Got
like how much you can't do anything. Because if Merc has a couple turns to do -2, that's enough to get out there. And there's still the Penguin. There's Penguin and Walking Woods. There's a big difference, right? Penguin and Walking Woods. And then there's Unseen as well. And there's also a tank. The hardest thing there when we were doing was to check Joker. That was like the hardest thing.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to just lock him up with those freaking Walking Woods and just like, here, fight them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're going to just just move the Penguin all the way across and just shoot people from across the map. And then eventually the retals start coming across. It works similar to Tyler's team. Because when I was watching, reading about. Oh yeah! Thanks, by the way, everybody. Steve was the one who did the play-by-play on the finals. Him and PJ. So big thanks to you. Like that was awesome. But it's similar in that you move up. Like he uses the whales and mini to get up and either do some mini damage, whatever, and then let them get hit, right? And then the retals come in, and then the mini calls in, guys. So it's like this is the same thing.
So Dustin Cedars' team was very similar, where he's just attacking you with these pods or mudmen and stuff.
Yeah.
and then he has like retaliators.
Retaliators, yeah.
He has
So
the serpent pogs or whatever, like
the
all these
difference-
different things that just gets up in your face, and then when you have to attack it, you're barely getting any points, and then he's hitting you hard with the retaliator. So that's such a good tech right now that like people aren't realizing that it's not just like Gotham, Unimine, etc. You just swarm people with
do all kinds of things, yeah. But difference
that's what
here,
scares about Pat's team.
The difference here is
it doesn't let you retell
unseen with Merc of the Mouth. I think maybe in I don't know how many games you played, when you get that combo off where you -2 and you go ham on their team.
Yeah.
They cannot retell. Like I've seen it happen where they just pass the retaliation because Groot retells with a 10.
Right.
And if Groot is next to a penguin, like
he retells at an 8.
He's retelling on like a 19.
Right.
And then you don't get the bonus, and then there's a prob. Like I think they hit like once, twice out of like I don't know how many games because you just need like a million. So
because he goes down, he goes back down to a 10 and then a -2 from unseen. Yeah. So he's an 8 trying to hit, and then like you said, if a Groot in particular is next to the penguin,
so Groot, like the retell you need a 10, and the regular attack you need like an 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So and that's tough, but it's I think right now with the format right now it's a bunch of like you were saying just a bunch of little guys coming across the map and then just having retells come across.
Yeah.
So, but I think I think there's a couple different things that maybe Battle World can look at. I think it most likely has something to do with maybe Witch Queen. I don't know how good Witch Queen really is, but I feel like there's some potential there, no?
Yeah. I mean, being able to move as far as she does and then Pulse Wave is pretty great. It's just, I think...
Not getting bonuses on her too?
It all depends on what the build is. I have yet to see a build that like is overly amazing with her just because like her mastermind can be outwit and then she just gets blasted. So I don't know. I'm sure a build exists that like is going to utilize her. I just haven't seen it like work out completely.
Well, one of the things I think that they would do is you exospecs her up and pick stealth. No.
Afterwards.
After all the movement stuff,
right, and then make it a little harder for them to get to you.
Yeah. There's got to be something there. I'm sure someone will figure something out.
Leadership perplex, and then leadership perplex, and having all those powers, and that. Oh yeah, you don't get bonuses.
Yep.
That's huge, man.
So, you got to build something around them because she can't miss. I mean, exospecs makes it not as bad, I guess. I mean, that kind of fixes the problem if she actually misses.
Doesn't she have a 12 attack?
Yeah, she goes to a 13 on her own because you perplex up her attack.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. It's decent,
That's all right.
But the next before we finish, February, Steve.
What's that?
Is our next one. I just need to confirm the date.
For another one of these?
No, well, it's going to be the first one, but we're going to do it big.
Oh shoot! You're starting that early? That's crazy.
Yeah, well, because we have to go throughout because we have more venues now.
That's awesome.
Are we?
Well, we only start.
It's after Worlds.
I mean, it's a month before. I mean, just a month before last year's, right? Last year's was March.
Oh really? Oh wow! I didn't realize.
So last year's was like earlier this year was March something. This is like mid to late February, so it's only maybe a couple weeks apart.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
When are you thinking about doing? Are you going to hold it in December again, or are you going to think about doing it a little earlier?
I mean, this was fine. Everybody wants to come out here. You saw Dan and PJ like, oh my god, this is so great. We'll come out here all the time.
No, we're all in shorts walking in between the building. It's not like we were huddled in the where's the heater and like huge jackets and
let's call it one of those big oil drums with the fire in it, and we're going like this.
Yeah.
But
I might have seen that though down the street. I'm not gonna.
You know what? We should be. We will be doing like a team thing though. Remember, like you're saying, Chase. So there will
3v3. This is what I've been asking for.
The side event will be a 3v3 constructed.
Oh yeah, that didn't end up happening at this, but you were talking about it. That sounds so cool.
Yeah, well, we couldn't do it because you saw how small the room is.
Yeah.
So maybe this one we're gonna do it. It's gonna be at a ballroom.
Yeah.
At the Marriott Hotel.
That's awesome.
So be on the you got the inside scoop right now. Even though you are on Ragnarok, though, it's fine.
As I was gonna say, as the Pat appointed captain of Ragnarok, I'll have to make sure some teammates come out for that.
Yeah, Paris said he'll come. If we Will also said they'll come. So
are we all just stroking our beards right now? Is that what we're doing?
We'll see.
I was doing it first, okay.
So we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. But so far we have a lot of. We just have to plan out some of the final logistics, but everything should be in place. Just got to make sure the price point is good for the stores.
Nice.
Because last year's was
rock when you got Majestix. You guys are killing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like everybody was saying, is like, well, if they're gone, then who needs? Like, we need the money tournament.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. We'll see. Judging and I mean, like, honestly, this is one of the things too we didn't get even into the judging. Okay, maybe it took a little longer to find some of the answers, but the answers were found correctly, even when certain people said they were 100%.
I know. Then that's kind of.
Sorry, I had to throw you under the bus.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Awkward too.
I like the. I don't mind. Like I said, if we're wrong, we just want to get it right.
Yeah.
What I don't like is we're 100% right, and this is what it is.
Right.
That's what I have a problem with, because then it's like, no, you're not the law. We need to still make sure it's right. And both times was wrong.
Right.
And and it's like, well, if you give a little leeway, like pretty sure it's this,
right,
as opposed to this is gospel. This is scripture.
17.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And I just remember going in, and then like we found the answer right away, and I felt stupid because the answer was like in the book.
Right.
For that, one of them was a knockback thing.
Yeah. That's what I remember. Like Jay coming in, like holding the rule book, like Bible, like and just reading like it was scripture on page 17, and I was just dying.
Yeah. Like I said,
so hard.
We just want to make sure we get it right. That's why we say if that's what it is. Now, if you tell me it's wrong, when you ask me, I look it up. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure it's this, but if you're really confident that it's that, let's go look it up. We'll go do that. And then when we do look it up, and it's like, well, there's nothing that says that it's, that supports what you're saying, and you still don't believe me, then it's like, well, then I don't know what to tell you, because this is what it says in the book. So, but there is something the Heroclix does need to fix, though, is that kind of thing, where they need to still work on their templating and their rules. They've gotten better for sure, but there's still a lot of things that are kind of off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the judging was really good. You guys did a great job. Everything about the entire event was like perfect. It was so much better. Like it was better run than any event that I've gone to. Like all you guys found your responses really quick too. And
Alex is really good at that.
Yeah, everything.
I asked Alex a question today between old rules and new rules and this and that.
Oh, boom.
And he got back to me, like obviously he was probably doing something, but he got back to me and it was just this is this, like all the things on list, and then he even said, well, there could be an argument for this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go, and I was like, well, what are you gonna go with? And he's like, we're gonna go with this since this is in the newer rules, and then push it. But it was like he had like quotes from the old old rulings.
And that's what I always say, right? It's like you got to support what you're saying. You can't just tell me this is what the guy told you. So, but yeah, I'm the breaks I think were pretty good. Like you guys had enough time to pee.
Yep.
You don't have it, like you get a drink, get a little snack, whatever, get some food.
I kept the bottle on me just in case.
Yeah. But you guys didn't even need that much break on between the sealed and the modern. We're like, we'll give you guys like 20 minutes or so, and then you guys were already seated within 10.
Yeah.
You guys are like, let's go. We're like, oh, fucking, all right, Jay, let's go. They want to go.
Yeah, the finals, I was ready to go up into the game 2 because I knew that the game 1, I was like, oh crap, I did it on turn 3, but I could have done it on turn 2, so I was ready to get right back to it, and I was so ready to get right back to it, I forgot to put green arrow on his starting click.
Oh,
and that was almost the thing.
God, I totally missed that. I was like,
yeah, that was a fun time.
So Steve, what if I said, you know what? You're right. You can't. What would have you done?
I would have been like, okay, I'll concede this one. Let's roll for Matt.
Okay. All right. No. That's come come on. Like they also took that out. They also took out that you have to be in the KO click in the rules, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they took that out from the sideline. Like, you know how it says all sideline figures have to be on their KO?
You used to have to be on KO.
They actually took that out, correct? I'm pretty sure
Yeah. Yeah, now it says put it on the starting click, but it doesn't say if you forget to put it on your starting click, your character's
it's like,
dead.
all right, dude, come on. And also, your green arrow doesn't have multiple point values, so you can't even make an argument about, well, he didn't tell me what point value he was going to play it at.
Right.
You could have an argument if you had like two, if you had a 100 point, like, oh, here's my Ant-Man at 20.
If it had two starting clicks, I wouldn't have even fought it. I would that's
exactly. But I was
that
like,
would have been
no,
the right call.
like,
But with this, it was just sort of a like, is he really gonna do this right now? Is this what he's going for? But luckily, he just like dropped it. If he pushed that further, I would have been a little.
No, I think Dan was just like
he accepted it.
It's like, look, I gotta, I think he's doing his due diligence. He's asking.
Yeah.
Because look, it's not there. Asking. No, okay, good, let's go. Like he's like, okay, let's go. He didn't even say anything after. So
he was good. It wasn't as bad as people online are trying to make it out.
No, it wasn't. That's why. But you know how it is. It's different.
Yeah.
Like I just know he asked us a no. He's like, okay, let's go. And that was it. No big deal. Yeah. But it was funny.
Like he tried to fight it and recite the rules or something.
It caught me by surprise because I was like, what? And I'm like, no, go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what she did.
Oh wait, what?
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, that was an actual thing. Wait, no, go ahead.
I'm sure if you look at like the Chase's great little face cameras, you'll see a look of like sheer terror when he said that.
Just goes ghost white.
I should have looked at you first and see what your reaction would have been.
Yeah.
And then let me think about it.
Let me sweat for a little bit.
And then I just want to see how fast Steve goes like this.
Yeah.
And then when it gets fast enough, then I go, okay, Steve, you can stop. You're good.
This little rain man is going to town.
Oh man.
Oh, good.
Oh, shit, dude. It's already getting past that I was supposed to be.
Yeah, you know what? Just so you know, Pat always messaging me like, "Let's finish up. Let's whatever." But I'm never the one talking.
I have to do it in a long time. I have to do it in a long time because it's always gonna go ahead. But it's good, man.
No, it's always good. And there's always like good stuff at the end. Because like you say, let's finish up, and you're like, oh wait, but what about this?
Doing all the good shit. Well, Steve brought it up. Damn it. Green Arrow thing. That's why I was like, oh my god, I was actually gonna lead with that.
Trying to extend my 5 minutes of fame.
So really quick though, what other podcasts are you going on all week long? I already saw clips, right?
Tomorrow.
I was not asked to be a part of the Click Stop one. Wonder why? No, just kidding. But yeah, I'm doing 2 clicks with Aaron tomorrow, and that's scary because Aaron is like more likely to try to get me to say negative stuff. So
that's our job. What are you talking about?
So I gotta contain myself. I feel like I did a good job saying the truth in a nice, polite manner. So I'm proud.
Are you reading from cue cards? Is Tony got like?
Yeah, right.
He's your PR guy right now. I wouldn't use Tony as a PR guy, by the
way. You were saying you're trying to extend your 5 minutes. I would say this is just beginning.
Hey,
just
thanks.
the beginning. That's what I think. Because now that you I wouldn't even say breakthrough because I thought you were already there, but it's more like the validation part.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you've already played those guys and beat them, but now you did it like on the big scale.
Right. Yeah.
Like some people might not. Well, it's not Worlds, not this, but I think it is now our event because there's concentration of a lot of good players. Not many events. Not many events you'll see yourself lose three games, Dan lose 3 games, PJ lose 7 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when have you ever seen that?
Right. Yeah.
So that shows you how strong.
Dan ever lose back-to-back games?
Exactly. Like Dan lost. Okay. If you count the individual one, he lost 4 games this weekend. Like that never happens. You lost 3. You might lose 1 or 2 max.
But Dan
PJ never loses. PJ can't lose seven games like in a year. You know what I mean?
showed Dan how I play my team though, so he probably would have won the next one.
Oh, dude, that was funny. God damn it. That's another one. The funny one was you're like, well, I have to win, so yeah, I have to show you what my team does.
I was really confused how to react to when he said that. I'm like, did I do something wrong by playing my team? Like, what did I do here?
You beat him. That's what you. That was your first mistake, Steve.
You know what's actually really cool too is seeing you guys going at it all weekend long. Where you guys aren't just getting cut. You know, it's
Right.
it's not cut and then done. And then, you know, so there's new formats. You guys go back at it. Everybody played each other twice, right?
Yep. Majority of us. There's a few people. Like, I think there's 2 people that everyone didn't play twice, but everyone else did.
And that was the other thing Pat made sure he did. Instead of like going straight on like a ranking based on your first
Sudoku puzzle.
Yeah, Pat even tweeted around. Like at one point he goes, "Chase, help me figure this out." And it was like after like round 8 or 9, or it was like one of the last rounds. I was like, Pat, what have you been doing? You've been doing this every time? Like I heard him keep saying it, and I kind of understood what it was. But he's like, "Chase, help me figure this last thing out." And I looked at it, I was like, "No." I went, "No." I was like, "No."
So Chase comes over with a pen, and he goes, "What do you want me to do?" Because we're like, we need to figure out. Because it was hard because there was a couple times when I did it where some people would have played each other 3 times.
Right, yeah.
And we're like, no, this can't happen, and it just couldn't work.
If you just did straight Swiss, Dan and I would have played each other like 13 times.
That's why you're like, why is Dan and PJ playing each other when they're far apart? Because if I do it another way, another guy plays 3 times, then we can't do it that way. They have to play twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because I want to make sure that I try to keep you guys as close as possible. But then when I go down the list, he's played this guy. Well, it goes down to PJ, and he's like, it just so happens PJ's at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Or close to the bottom, and they kind of go, well, how is this? I'm like, I don't even want to explain it. I can't explain it, but it has to be this way so that there's no overlap later on, because I'm like, fuck, I didn't realize it was going to be 8 of you. If there was 10, it would have been easier.
Right.
It would have been 2 more players for you guys to play, and that make it no problem. But with only 8, I'm like, oh man, this is going to suck. But
so that's the difference. It's just done right.
Yeah, it worked. It still worked out because nobody played. As long as I don't hear, I already played this guy 3 times. Oh shit.
Yeah, because it would have been that way too.
Then it would have been bad.
I remember PJ because he came in. Dan said something, then PJ came in and was like, "Why am I playing Dan?" And I just, I looked at you like waiting for you to be like, "Oh, I have my, you have your reasons. You're not because if not, like you said, you guys have been playing each other the whole time."
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. You don't get to get knocked down into like a lower, like you take. Or sorry, like the. Not losers bracket, but the lower competition because they're losing, and then feed off points to get your way back up. Not that I've ever done it in Colorado, but get to the top 4 with 2 and 2. Anyway, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed is that you guys all got to play each other. You got to see that, and then you have the different formats. So I mean, it's just there's nothing else like it in Clicks.
Yeah, redemption games because you get like what. If someone felt they got lucky, let's play again. They get to play.
And then Aaron and Colin's last game came down to who was going to make it.
That was huge.
That was a really good game. That was. I remember he goes, "This is a $50 game of Clicks," and Colin goes, "Not if I win. Then it's a $950 game." Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Was that before or after Colin didn't let him take that back?
I just remember Aaron just saying multiple times, I shouldn't have played this team. I shouldn't have played this team. I should have played like during the game. He's like, why did I play this team?
Yeah.
Because I think he needed one.
He tried to punt on 4th down.
I think
4th and 1 or 4th and inches instead of going for it.
I think he went. Did he go 0-3 with that? Yeah. Because I think he was like, because he told me, he goes, I just need to get 1 win. I think I get 1 win with this team.
Yeah, and he wanted to go point denial too because he had
point denial so that nobody jumps him in points because he had the highest points. So
I don't feel like there's any way that Aaron doesn't play like a more familiar team or something else, some homebrew stuff that he doesn't at least get a win.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Like if he really wanted to be safe, he could have probably played some kind of shredder thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he could have easily got a win from that. Like I think a shredder team probably beats Colin.
And then
they're soft, man. Those guys are soft.
And what kind of screwed Emilio was he couldn't. In the end, all Emilio had to do was whether win or lose to come in 3rd was at least score 58 points. 58. He get 58. I'm pretty sure is what I counted. And whatever he did, he lost it. He couldn't get those points either, so knocked him down to 4th, and he had to deal with Dan.
Yeah. Uni Dan. Well, the other thing too. The one last thing, so many times said this, but there was like it was a nice dynamic to see like the competitiveness between like you and Dan during the weekend, because he was like, "What's everybody's record?" And then, "Who's your losses to?" And you're like, "To you," and you're like, were you just saying that just to be clear, Dan? That my 2 losses were to you? And he's like, "No, I just want to know what everybody's record is." But I like that. It's a nice little gamesmanship, you know?
Yeah.
So that it was nice. You know, it was just nice little friendly banter, but it was also like competition, and that was good. That's what we like to see. That was good.
I actually got it,
rivalry.
and I told Pat this. I got a lot of respect for your game, Steve. You play really efficient. You make the right moves.
Aaron's been touting you for a while.
And and the way you play too, like you take your turn. I don't ever see any like durdling around or anything else like that. There is no like trying to really get in somebody else's head. Now I know it's just social awkwardness. I didn't realize that.
It's not being nice or smart. It's just me being weird.
But it's like
say anything. I'm just gonna play clicks.
You're very, when I watch you play, even when you're winning or losing, you're very like humble.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you play, you're just like, oh well, or like it's so different than what you see like the intensity some of the other players.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't tell if you're winning or losing because you have the same look, the same attitude, the same kind of like self-deprecating demeanor when you play.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know. It just you look focused and you're just And
I like that you try to convince yourself that it was the right play. It was the right play. It was the right play. You rolled it, but it was the right play. It was the right play. Yeah. You're gonna say this. You rolled it, but it was the right play.
When he landed the first shape change, because I was like beating myself up so hard. I'm like, there had to be a better way to do that, but there wasn't.
Two turns later, he's still saying that was the right play. It was the right play. I had to do it because that was my only chance. It was the right play. I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, it was. You still won the game, so
yeah. I thought you were gonna lose, and I didn't realize
Thanks,
that.
Pat. Thanks, Pat.
No. I thought you were gonna lose because I thought your green arrow was gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the right move. I don't know why he chose not to. That was crazy. See, and that's the thing is, so if I lose a game, I beat myself up about it for months. Like, and that's the whole thing. Like, if I make an outright wrong, I'm fine losing a game to luck, to my opponent just outright playing better or whatever. But if I lose a game because I just made a mistake, it haunts me forever. Like the George game where I didn't know that Stormbreaker gives you +2 range. I like that haunts me forever, and that's I mean, I'm fine. Everyone's gonna rag on me for that because I deserve it. And so, but like here,
talk shit on Beta Ray, man. That was your fault.
I had to convince myself that because like even watching the game, I think every turn I did the right thing for that moment, and so that's important to me. Is that like I'm like a robot that like everything has to be perfectly efficient.
Except for the fact that you bundled your team together.
Yeah.
You sidestepped everyone into the energy, the tank formation.
Oh, that was the worst. No, evering about that was bad.
Why did you do that?
Everything about it was bad.
You tank everybody. No.
Everything about it was bad.
Touch because we need to do we need to leadership off the whole team next turn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but what if his team is dead? There's no one to leadership off him anymore.
If he didn't have the +2 range, I was fine. Everything was going to be okay, but he did, and I screwed up, and I understand that. But that's why I kept repeating I did the right move in the Dan game, because I had to convince myself that even if I lost, it wasn't my fault. It's because he landed shape change.
No, and I mean, I get that. I told Pat, like, after I lost to you in the WizKids Open, I'm like, there's that, like, last click flurry I had on you.
You missed, right?
And I missed by the amount of the perplex I could have perplexed of his attack.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And I just remember, like, rolling it and missing, and immediately hit me as, like, I had a +2 perplex. Yeah. And then if I would have killed both of those pieces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I win at that point. I feel like I probably would have.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I feel like I could have just backed off or whatever. But I just remember that happening, being like, that's that. And I've thought about it all the time. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. So that's what it is.
Damn it! Just one thing. So,
well, I think my mentality in Heroclix is that, like, if I play someone, no matter win or lose, and they walk away from it like not thinking I'm an asshole, then I did my job. That, like, I just don't want to be the guy that leaves a tournament with people hating him. And
has anybody? Have you felt that somebody thought that way about you?
No.
Hard to do.
No, but like I've seen, like,
Tony,
for example.
Now, if you're listening, Tony, woo, man,
Yeah. So Tony gets heated, and then I like watching Dan leave. I felt bad for the guy because Dan was trying to say goodbye to people, and people outright said to his face, like, "No, I didn't enjoy meeting you. Like, I hate you." And I never want to do something to justify that.
I missed this. Where was this?
Oh yeah, it happened.
It was when you're in.
Oh, was in the other room doing some business.
Yeah, that's why Dan came up to me. I was like, "No, dude, I still love you." That is what it is.
Oh, I missed that one. Interesting.
So yeah, I just want to make sure everyone has a positive Heroclix experience because then, like, it's not a game, but it's just a game thing.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one too. As much as sometimes I really want to win, and I want to try to get in somebody's head. I'm just like, let's just play. Yeah. You do the best you can. I'll do the best I can. We'll see what happens at the end of this.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
All right. Well, dude, it's almost 11. Got to be done.
Gotta be done.
We got to be done.
This is nice while it lasted, Pat.
I know.
All right, guys. Well, again, want to thank Steve for coming on.
Thanks, champ.
Yep, you are. I mean,
well, I was gonna say, I was gonna say something, and I'm like, well, we don't even have a team, so never mind.
No.
Ragnorak for life.
Once you stop with your semi-retirement, your occasional WizKids Open.
If Hobbit can carry the torch, then that's a start.
Pat's been trying to tell me, but I tell him this is 8 years too early. Every Saturday, I always have something to do with my kid. Like he's got baseball, he's got something. But we'll see. I'm still trying. Either that or I'm doing streaming.
If I can, well, anyway, it could be another announcement for another time. But
yeah,
we'll
another podcast.
Let's see if the Lakers can land another LeBron James. You guys only knew.
Other than that, as Pat said, I guess we have an event in late February or mid to late February. I just got to. It's gonna kick off the Open Series, so all the announcements will be coming up soon. It's gonna be at the Marriott in Pasadena. I'm just waiting for the date to be confirmed because if you know Jason and he has the hookup. So he was the one that said, "Hey, why don't you run it here so we can just have everything?" Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know. I'm like, why didn't you tell me this before? He's like, because I thought you always had a place. But is it a 2-day event or 1 day?
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 days. So I asked him. I said it has to be 2 days.
Oh, awesome.
Because we need 3v3 on Sunday.
We have to be able to fit everything, though. Like the final, like the top 8 will be Sunday, and then probably the top 4 for teams will be that same day as well. Because the main event and the side event, the co-main event of the 3v3 will be on Saturday.
Okay. All right, cool. So we got that going on. Other than that, I mean, all the big tournaments are done.
Yeah,
Steve is my champion. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I want you to know, Steve, I did pick you the night before.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You did.
Yeah.
With that said, guys, when in doubt, perplex the attack.